Welcome back to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City on VegasAllNetRadio.com, the final frontier of free speech where you can say, do, and talk about whatever the fuck you want, and we take full liberty of all of that. Okay. We're going to talk to Rodney LaCroix, LaFrench, who is the author of Perhaps I've Said Too Much. It's his second book. It's absolutely hilarious. He's also a very popular blogger. And I'm going to let him tell some stories about himself and his journey to becoming an author. Because that is a hilarious journey all by itself.
No. No, it's not.
Hello. This is your second book. The first book was called?
The first book was called Things Go Wrong for Me.
Things Go Wrong for Me. What inspired you to start being a writer?
Boredom. No, actually, it's, well, I've always written, I'm an only child, so a lot of the stories in this book kind of goes over my thought process and how I got to the point, but only child is just, your imagination just runs wild because you got nobody to play with. And, from up until the age 12, right, well, up until age 12, you don't have masturbation to fill in that time period, so you got to do something else, right? So I was writing stories all when I was a kid and everything, so. And then, I started my blog because I hated my job. And one of the guys I worked with was like, hey, you should start a blog. I'm going to start a blog. And I'm like, what's a blog?
Do you start a blog in hopes that you don't have to work?
Yeah. See, that's the goal. Well, you do everything in the hopes that you don't have to work, right? I mean.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I'm like, what's a blog? This was years ago, and he's like, oh, it's like a website, and you write things, and you make lots of money. I'm like, really? Money? Cha-ching. So I started one. I just started writing some of the stories from my childhood, and it got really famous. And I've made a total of 6 cents. I've had that blog for 7 years now, so yeah.
Was it the blog that brought you to Vegas, see?
Well, and yeah, means to an end, right? So blog got me a book deal, and
Sierra, tell the story about how you found Rodney and he got to come on the show.
Actually, it's pretty funny. I was working at a carpet installation company, and my boss comes running into my office and he goes, you've got to read this blog, it's hilarious, this guy is fucking funny. So I pull it up on my computer and I'm reading it, and it's only like his second year into the blog, so I was like, this is pretty funny. And I'm one of those people who, like, if I start halfway through a series, I have to go back and start at the beginning, and so I went back and I spent like 2 weeks straight not working at work, just reading this blog every day and catching up on all of it. And then every time he would post something new, my boss would run in my office, did you read his last post? This is hilarious. This shit is funny. And that's how I got into reading his blog. And then I was blogging at the time where I started blogging. I'd like send him a message. I'm like, can you help me with this? Or, I think I guest posted once on his blog many, many moons ago. And then I'm just a big fan. Hugely, hilariously funny. And then his first book came out. He started talking about his first book, and I'm like, I talked for years. The entire first season, I said, we've got to get him on the show. He is hilarious. And then we finally got him on just this last season, and it's been a hoot since. And I enjoy the fuck out of his writing.
I'm always glad when it's Rodney week.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, Rodney's Skyping in today.
I don't get that a lot from women, so that's
okay. Here, we're your harem. We're your harem.
Awesome. Grapes. I need grapes, but yeah.
So you were telling a story about a prostate exam and a Harley.
Oh my God, yeah. So because Sienna started talking about my story in my first book, where I ate X-Lax as a kid thinking it was chocolate. Oh, it was terrible. I just OD'd.
It was horrible tasting. How did you think it was chocolate?
No. X-Lax, it's chocolate.
It looks like it.
It looked like it. I'm like, oh, it's not bad for chocolate, So, and you gotta read that story's terrible. But there's a related one I've never told anybody, is that just a few years ago, I had my first prostate exam, right? So I drive my Harley. I live in New Hampshire, right? And so
you get like 3 weeks out of the year to drive it.
Oh yeah, in New Hampshire, right? So it's like, okay, you've got you've got 3 weeks out of the year, and then it's in the garage for the remaining 11 months, right? So I drive the bike to the doctor, and never had a prostate exam before. At the time, I was still married, so I didn't know that finger in the ass was actually a good thing at the time. So when he did it, it was uncomfortable for me.
Go figure.
So he put the rubber glove on, put a ton of lube on there, In goes the finger. Out goes the finger. I'm like, oh god, it's terrible. All right, yeah, we're good.
Just relax, breathe through it.
No, you can't. It's not. It's not possible. So, and then I left, and what do? I hop on the Harley. Dun 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 dun. Now, here come the vibrations, and here comes the lube. It's squirting its way back out. I'm like, no, and I've got like a 15-minute drive back home. Potholes. Squirting. Oh, it was uncomfortable. It was my whole body, my pants. Oh, it was awful.
Just throw those clothes away.
How I didn't slide off that bike taking a it's terrible. I have too many stories about shit coming out of my ass. It's all.
Now, isn't it like women at a certain age have to start getting mammograms regularly? Like men have to get a prostate. Isn't it like at a certain age you have to get those regularly?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really go to the doctor unless I'm sick, but I knew at 40 I had to do something. There had to be some kind of
test or
some kind of checkup type thing. So yeah.
40. What is that like? Maybe like a how many mile lube or something?
Right. Yeah. It was a
the
lube.
50,000 mile.
In my case, yeah, it was like a 15-mile lube. Is what it was. That's what it was. That's terrible.
So how did this book, perhaps I've said too much, how did this book come to be? We know the first one came to be because you were blogging and everyone thought you were fucking hilarious, so you should write a book.
Yeah, so which was good. And so the first book was really, really popular, and it won 2 awards.
Really?
Nice.
Tell it, which one?
It won the National Indie Excellence Award. I have medals. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, and in fact, in the back of this book, ladies, I don't want you to get too excited, but there is a picture of me without my shirt on here. Oh, there I am. I'm brandishing one of my medals.
Oh, stud muffin.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
Actually,
all mine, ladies.
Yeah. Look out, ladies. NGI, so Next Generation Indie Book Awards, and next National Indie Excellence Award.
That's awesome.
For humor. Yeah. So it was so successful. My editor and publisher is a good friend of mine. Was like, let's do a second one. And I'm like, great. And he's like, yeah, we'll start it. So this came out December. The first one came out in December 2012. So he's like, we'll do it. It'll come out in July. Right?
2012?
Of 2013. He's like,
okay.
we'll do that. We'll get the second one. We'll come out in July of 2013. July of 2013 is when we started talking about starting this one. So, but all told, it was about a year in the making. It's all new. It's all original writing for the most part.
Is it hard to just say, okay, let's do a second book? Did you have like a second book somewhere in your head or halfway on paper, or did you have to like come up with the whole concept when they said let's do a second book?
So what we did, the first book is mainly blog stories, right? A lot of stuff that people hadn't read or written, but I used to write. And the reason why I don't blog all that much anymore is because all my stories are long. I mean, they're not fit for a blog. You know, blog, you want to go in, you want to look. You don't want to be scrolling and reading. So it was more inclined to be put into a book. So we rewrote a lot of the stories, put them into a first book, added some new ones, and we started piecing this one together, and I started looking at some other stories, and then going, you know what, we can actually, well, most of my stories are me just fucking with people. So, and that became the theme of this book, is like just from birth to now, me just messing with people's heads.
And saying too much and getting yourself in trouble.
And, there's payback in every single story. It's terrible. Yeah.
Give us a few highlights. Tell us one of your favorite stories. Or better yet, you tell us one of your favorite stories.
Well, I'm biased. Mine's the one how we met. That's my favorite story.
Tell it.
This is the only successful online dating couple I have ever met.
It's early in the relationship.
Yeah. Still only 3 years.
Mama and Daniel meet online?
No.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
They met in that I'm married but I'm not dead website. That's right. They were cheating on spouses.
Right. Oh, anyway. I joined
Match.com.
Match.com. And basically wasn't looking for a relationship or anything major like that. I just wanted some guys to actually spend money on me and buy me drinks and dinner and take me out.
That's called Craigslist, honey.
That's called a real man, not my ex-husband.
That's all she wanted you for, Rodney.
Yeah, I wanted you for your money.
Yeah.
My sugar daddy.
She got it. All 4
All yesterday.
All that strip joint.
And so I was on there. I did meet a couple of guys for coffee. One just talked about his ex-wife constantly. I was like, ugh. So I was joking around and just being goofy one day, and I put Susan Boyle up as my
Page
profile
151,
picture.
Rodney.
I put Susan Boyle up as my profile
If those of you
picture.
who don't know who Susan Boyle is, she's the lady that was in England's
Britain's Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent,
Yep.
and she was wonderful.
Her voice is amazing, but her face is not. So, and I actually put it up there, and I forgot that I put it up there. And I got an email from Rodney, and he's like, that was fucking hysterical. He's like, you made me laugh. He's like, are you kidding me with the 5'9", 6'2" height requirement thing? He's like, because I'm only 5'3" on a good day. He's like, I will wear platform shoes. He's like, but you've made me laugh, and I just wanted to chat for a little bit. And then we met, a month later in person, and that was that. Ta-da.
So that's my problem. I just need to change my photo on my profile.
To Susan Boyle.
Make it a pig getting stroked off.
There you go.
Oh, good idea! I'll find somebody with a common interest.
And you guys dated for a few years before you got married. You made sure that this was okay for each other before you just jumped right in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I still don't know if it's okay for each other. But, yeah, we dated for a while before we got married. 3 years.
How long before you guys moved in together?
Oh,
I just moved in 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with my children.
He went from being a part-time bachelor to a full-time not.
This is radio, so you can't see my eye twitching.
We're on camera. We're on
Oh,
camera. Oh, we got you. No, you can't hide it at all. And what's your favorite story out of the book, Rodney? One of them.
Jeez, I don't know that I have, my favorite story is the very last story, but I can't tell it because it's the
Because nobody will read the book.
it's the grand finale story.
Okay.
And it is so controversial I had to get pulled off my blog. It was originally a blog story that survived a total of 6 hours before my ex-family just brutally attacked me on it. So it's completely rewritten. It's no longer, it's all about me. But it is probably my absolute favorite story. But just to give you an idea, so I started this, I think the first story in the book, and that explains the cover.
The bionic finger.
It's the bionic finger.
I love that story.
Everybody's like, what is that? Like a shit on your hand? I'm like, no, it's a bionic finger. And they're like, why? I'm like, you got to read the book. You're going to buy the book. It's the first story. So when I was a kid, like I said, imagination's just running wild. I'm running around doing all kinds of weird stuff. In fact, the $6 Million Man was the big show when I was a kid, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm old. So
Steve Austin,
right?
Austin,
So,
baby.
So we were in school one day, and it was indoor recess, which you have a lot in New England because it's like sunny, hail, rain, sleet, hurricanes, and that's like in one day, right? In August.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, that's the weather on any given day. So we had indoor recess, and I was just all the kids were milling around. I was bored, and I'm like, I call my buddy Timmy over, and I'm like, Timmy, psst, come here. He's like, what? I'm like, my finger's really killing me. He's like, why? I'm like, you can't tell anyone. He's like, why? I'm like, all right, I got a bionic finger. He's like, what? I'm like, over the weekend, I got a bionic finger.
Over the weekend.
We're in like third grade or whatever. Who cares? So he's like, shut up. So I'm like, no, I really did. And so if you look down at your hand and you've got like with a joint where your finger meets your palm, it's all like little crisscrosses. I'm like, see, those are the stitch marks right there.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I really? And I'm like, yeah, right there. See, this finger's bionic. And then I go, you want to hear it? I don't know why. I said that. I don't know what I was. He's like, yeah, I want to hear it. I'm like, okay. So I hold my finger up to his, and I'm like, you can hear the gears and everything inside. Listen. And I started just move my fingers, and he's like, I hear it. So at this point, it's clear to me that Timmy is completely mental, right? So I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm like, okay, really? Okay, all right, good. You hear it. So don't tell anybody. You know? Next thing I know, I got groups of kids. They're all around my desk and like, lift up the table. You know, rip this book in half, you know, type of thing. And then...
Your bionic finger!
So now I'm like, oh, shit, what did I do? Right? I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden, they're all, poke me, do this, you know, do all this. Trying to see how strong I am with this finger. Now I'm like, I really just completely fucked myself. And then I'm like, all right.
Rodney, the littlest kid in the class, too.
I'm like, all right, guys, show's over. Just keep this to yourself, okay? Okay. Teacher. Rodney, what's this about a bionic finger? I don't have a bionic finger, Mr. Benjamin. Kids are like, you motherfucker.
Hey, look, you were the one who had them going. They were all absolutely convinced. You can hear it. You can see it. Look what it does.
That just tells you what mind over. Like, you could convince somebody of anything.
Well, you can convince little kids of damn near anything. Santa, come on now.
Santa. Tooth Fairy, right? Little guy comes in,
yeah.
No, the
steals
Tooth
your
Fairy's
teeth.
real.
The Tooth Fairy is not real. I know, the Tooth Fairy is the creepiest one out of all the lies.
Why?
It steals your teeth.
Excuse me, a man coming through your chimney, flying around the country with reindeer and eating everybody's cookies at everybody's house is not
That's
weird?
the perfect job.
Except, yeah,
Totally believable.
but you get cool shit. You know, this person comes in and steals your teeth.
They leave you a quarter.
they're not
You know who else
stealing
does
your
that?
teeth.
You know who else
They're
does that?
already out.
Serial killers. Serial killers do that.
They take a trophy, don't they? They take their trophy. Oh, no. But
Are you
no.
trying to tell me that the Tooth Fairy is really Dexter?
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. But, you know, Santa this year at my house left a trail of soot out of the fireplace.
A little bastard.
Damn clean house, and he left soot. I'm like, which one of you two crazy folks did this one in my house? Clean this shit up.
No, we did that. We go the whole.
Oh, we did too. When the Easter Bunny, it's like we put grass in the house, like the Easter Bunny hopped in and left a grass trail.
Oh, that's awesome.
Should leave rabbit poop. I can get you some.
No,
See, you don't have. I don't think you don't get. Do you get snow here?
We do.
once in a great while
Once in a
we
great
do.
while.
But
So
There's
we-
snow up on our mountains right
yeah,
now.
in the mountains. You get
We had like a foot. We had a foot before we left. It snowed like the day before we left. But we went Christmas Eve. My kids don't believe. Hers do. Hers are young enough to believe. My kids don't. So my kids know that. Okay, the big tarp in the basement. Those are the presents, right? So I can't get away with that anymore. But so my kids were outside with me helping do reindeer footprints in the snow, and we made sleigh tracks. You know, where you land. So you get
That's always the fun part about having an older. Like, I was the oldest, so once I found out I got to help be Santa, and that was cool. That helped keep it alive for the kids. My kid, unfortunately, has no younger siblings, and he will not have any younger siblings. So he's gonna have to, you know.
My mom and dad, if we're all home for Christmas now, and I'm 51 years old, okay, and my brothers and sisters are 5 years younger than me. Still, my mother puts nothing under the tree until we're all asleep, like Santa Claus came. Okay?
Wow.
But my mother always said the year you stop believing is the year you stop getting presents. So I call every year and say, I believe. I get a check in the mail every year. I believe.
Callie guy says Rodney LaCroix giving everybody the finger since 1974. And Tyzone says Rodney looks like Gary Sinise. You do look a little bit like Gary Sinise.
Yeah. I actually posted that the other day.
Gary Sinise is who?
CSI.
Captain Dan.
Captain Dan.
Yeah.
From Forrest Gump.
You got new legs, Captain Dan.
Yeah, yes, I know you're talking about.
I actually posted a picture of him. I'm like, somebody mentioned it the other day that I look like Gary Sinise, so I did a side by side.
Right.
It's kind of close, and then I did a side by side of me and the Captain Dan one where he's like all scraggly with the hair and the wheelchair. That one, not so much.
You told everybody into every nightclub you went to last night that's who you were.
I'm Gary
You know
Sinise.
who I
VIP
am? I'm
treatment.
Gary fucking Sinise.
You know, we did go to Madame Tussauds, so I could have just stood there. That would have been.
Wait, is this the museum where the shots were $6 a piece?
Yes.
Madame Tussauds?
Yeah.
Genius. Yes.
Genius.
Genius. Oh my God, we love that place. Awesome.
So, what things here in Vegas have you missed that next time you definitely have to see? You went to Zumanity, you went to Madame Tussauds, you drank and puked your way through Vegas, couple of strip clubs. What have you missed that you're going to do next time?
Like I wanted to do Fremont Street.
Downtown.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
man.
fun. Yeah, the Fremont experience.
I wanted to do that. We don't have time to do that. And then probably want to do another show. Like I want to do Penn and Teller. And
That's
what's
a
so
good show.
funny is everybody's like, even though we saw a magic show today. So one of my good friends, Jimmy Mulligan. He's an artist for Disney. He knows the guy. He actually painted the UFC fight last night, ringside.
Oh, nice.
So, guy, he's awesome, phenomenal guy. He caught me tickets to a magic show at the Tropicana today, and we saw this guy that was there today. But what's the guy's name? Murray Sawchuk. Really?
Blonde guy?
Yeah.
Blonde guy. He's got that weird blonde hair.
Oh, yeah, I know.
He's on
I know
America's Got
Murray.
Talent.
Murray actually works for August Entertainment, Stephen Maria, so I know him.
Snake Babe.
We work for the same entertainment company, so I know
He's
Murray.
been here on a couple of other shows.
Yeah, I know Murray.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. So
Nice guy.
Yeah, I got to meet him today. But yeah, I'd like to do something. But everybody between him, they made a joke about it, and then even the people who worked at Madame Tussauds, they hate Chris Angel.
Yeah.
Right? Does anybody like the guy?
No, he's Chris Angel does. Yeah, Chris Angel likes himself very much. No, he's kind of pompous and full of himself, but you know.
Who is?
Chris Angel.
The lady at Madame Tussauds said he's got his statue or whatever. He's got his palms out like this, and he's got his shirt open, and you can. It's so realistic you can almost hear that awful lisp of his. You can almost hear it coming. But the shot girl who runs the bar is right across from it, and she's like, you know what? He requested that he have a six-pack on his statue. He doesn't really have one. He requested they add one on.
Wow.
She also noticed that he had the smallest package out of all of the male statues.
They probably did that.
She said, and she goes, oh, after hours it's slow. We go around. It's like, so they check out all like.
They undress them.
Do they make
They don't
them-
have nipples.
Do they make them anatomically correct?
No.
No?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
They're like big Ken dolls.
But whoever made the Chris Angel one made his penis disappear, apparently.
Okay, I'm just trying to envision working there, and the lights go off, and you're supposed to be sweeping and cleaning counters.
And instead you're checking
and
out everybody's
dropping
nipples.
drawers. That's freaky.
That's what you and I would do.
No.
Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? There's the classic Jenna Jameson. She's there. Oh, I'd be all over that.
Okay,
thing.
but wait a minute. Will those
stroking
wax
pigs.
boobs do anything
I know what I'm
for
doing.
you?
He doesn't care.
Those big wax boobs would turn you on. The fake wax boobs on.
You know, I'd probably just make sure it was wax or something. Hey,
The creepy part was the family having their 4-year-old sit next to the naked Jenna Jameson to take a picture.
No.
Really?
We were just jaw dropped, like.
Why would you do that?
Well, they were foreigners and like, come
Oh,
on, come.
Those foreign
And they
people
sit down
don't
with
give a
kids
shit
like-
about naked people at all. We're like the only country left in the entire world who's like, naked people, no, don't do that. Everyone else doesn't give a shit.
Maybe they didn't know that's who it was.
Yeah, maybe they didn't know.
Maybe they're like,
I don't know.
Carrie
But
Underwood.
Or like, it's a goddess. She's naked. It's a goddess.
Yeah.
But like, it's awesome because it's like Sandra Bullock, and she looks super hot. Like if I worked there, they'd be come in the next morning and go, did
There, Joe?
wait, all these statues have extra wax on them.
I've lived in Vegas almost 20 years, and I have never been to Madame Tussauds.
Yeah.
I should go.
It's fun just to take pictures.
No, it's been open for years. I don't think so. Yes, it
Yeah.
has. It's a different location, but it has been open for years
Yeah,
and
yeah.
years and years. Yeah, they're in a different location.
Well, I picked them up at their hotel. I've never actually been inside the hotel that they're staying
Oh.
at. It's been almost a year, almost 2 years since I've
We almost
been
didn't get
down the
inside it
strip.
last night.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've been in a lot of the hotels, and I can't remember which one looks like what, usually. It's to dance! It's to dance! Stop laughing at me, Toxia! It's dancing!
Uh-huh.
But like we were trying to make plans. The problem is you go into a hotel here, and you have plans for the day. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. You go into a hotel. It takes you 3 fucking hours to find your way out.
Yeah.
They're so big.
They're roach motels. Once you get in, you can never get out.
Went to the Venetian. I'm like, and so my buddy Jimmy was here doing the fight, last night. He's like, oh, I'll meet you for lunch. Where are you? I'm at the Venetian. Where? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. There's water. He goes, water runs through the whole thing. I'm like, then I don't know. know. There's a Fendi. I don't know. That's all I can tell you.
That's why when you live here, like, I never go to the Strip unless I have to go for work.
Yeah, I was telling them I don't drive up and down the Strip at all. There's back roads into all those casinos. The most I've ever driven on the Strip in the last almost 2 years was when I picked them up today to get from the Paris to Flamingo, and that's like half a block.
What I've done lately, gotten smart, is I pull up to the valet and I say, look, I'm going to room such and such. I'm a stripper. I'm fat. What's the shortest place for me to park that I can walk? And these guys, first of all, they're going, she's a stripper, you know, and literally they will tell me that, no, you need to go to the other valet, or you need to go here, but I just lay it on the line, and then I tip them $10, and they usually, okay, we'll keep your car right here for you.
So Tyzone wants to know if you can see yourself in a TV sitcom, or if you have any plans to do movies or television.
I would love to do movies and television. So I have another friend who's he's actually a producer, screenwriter, and he's been trying to get me to write.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I bet you've got a lot of stories in these books that would be great for a sitcom, a family situation comedy.
No, HBO sitcom.
Your third grader has a bionic finger. Come on.
Yeah, and they're all, sadly, all the stories in here, like my first one, they're all true.
And of course, there's going to be an episode where he visits the curvaceous bounty of Sin City.
Oh, yeah. They go to Vegas.
Absolute.
They go to Vegas for the bash.
Oh, if you came to the bash once, now you've heard what the bash is, right? The bash is a big
CSI did an episode about it. All the fat people who get together to have sex.
It's a big convention here in town every year. There's anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 fat women and the men who love us from all over the world. And literally, you'd have a whole book if you spent a week. It is a lot of very nice people socializing, a lot of fucking, a lot of
drinking.
Women bigger than me in string bikinis at the pool. Yeah,
those are the best.
You'd have a hell of a book. I'm telling you.
He's going to go back to New Hampshire and be like, did you know they put 400-pound women in string bikinis in Vegas?
That's it. Perhaps I've seen too much.
Oh, that's exactly what you call it after the bash.
Who was it? My favorite bash story, well, I'll do it real quick before we go to break, is Katie Finn wouldn't put a bathing suit on. She wouldn't put a bathing suit on. It was until she saw them, 3 guys hoisting some 600-pound woman in a bikini out of the pool. She was like, well, fuck that. If she can wear a bikini, I can wear a bathing suit.
I'm still trying to get Katie in a bikini, because I wear a bikini even when it's not the bash. It's too fucking hot in Vegas to wear a full-size bathing suit. Hell no. All right, you have been listening to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City. We'll be back with Rodney LaCroix and our guest host, Toxie. See you in a minute. Bye.